on what was discussed last week. If you're on mute, I will not be able to hear you. But even before that, how was your week? Before, let's not even rush. Anything exciting? What are you guys learning or doing in schools? If you are not on Zoom, nobody can hear you.
Okay, let me get on Zoom and say that.
Oh,
Yeah, that's me.
oh. Hey,
This weekend.
mute myself.
Okay. This weekend, me and Ethan played Build a Boat for Treasure yesterday,
Okay.
and we started a war.
What happened?
It was brutal. We don't talk about who won.
Aryan sound is giving him trouble. But anyway, anyone want to share how their week was? Anything special? Are you in any clubs? What is your club doing? Julie, are you in any club in school?
Yeah, I would like to share my weekend.
Well, I am in this like small one that we help organize things, but besides that, not really.
Okay.
I'm also in no, actually I am in a couple clubs. I am also in what's it called? Show choir. But we really haven't done anything this year. So I don't know if like the school is holding out that they don't want to do it or something.
Oh, wow. Okay. What about Ghana? What is anything special going on in your schools?
This one here. I talk.
Excellent. What is going on there? What does it say?
Normal.
Somewhere.
Are you?
There is something pointing.
No, you said that nobody's hearing.
Oh, the volume. No.
Yes, you're
Oh.
just close to your mute.
Okay, so Team Ghana, what is going on in Ghana? Anything exciting in school? Ejurati. Moyede, what is some of the stuff that is going on in school?
My name is Dominic Adufikun. The week went good for us. On Friday, we played volleyball. I played volleyball and others played soccer. Others also played handball and others also played netball.
Also, Friday, they let you have extra time to play, right?
Yes, madam.
Okay, that's nice. So, guys, one of the exciting thing about Ghana school, right, is that Friday they give them extra recess or extra play time so that they can stay and play different kinds of sports and games. If they are normally giving them 1 hour, on Friday they'll give them like 3 hours or so, right? Yeah. So
Yes, madam.
yep, I used to love that too when I was in school because Fridays were the best times. Yeah. Okay, so anyone, I see Jeremiah is here, Kayla is here, Naima. So how was your week? Anything exciting? Any project that you guys are working on in school? All that stuff. Because I'm beautiful. It's that simple. Thank you. Naima is lying. I can tell you straight up. She lying. There was no algebra battle. Naima? No
No, I didn't really do anything.
Rama? What's going on?
Hi, I'm Philbert.
Hi, Philbert.
On Hi, madam. I'm Philbert.
Philbert, what is the exciting stuff going on in your school?
On Friday, Monday, we learned, we wrote notes, and the rest. On Tuesday, we also on Tuesday, the teacher came in and we did pick an act. On Wednesday,
It's pick and axe.
pick an act.
Anybody know
On
what pick
Wednesday,
and axe is? Yeah, pick and anybody know? Okay, so, Philbert, your team members here says they don't know what pick and axe is, so explain.
pick an act is a type of game called write how you want to the write your performance or on the paper, then we fold, then we mix it. We let one person come out and come and remove one of it.
Okay.
Let's say you got act like Uncle Frank, then you act like that uncle.
You guys have to do a video demonstration and send it to us. Please. Yes. And we will practice it. We will practice it here. Do a video demonstration and send it. And then we will practice it here and also send it to you guys.
Okay.
So, Prof, what's it? We are waiting for that. We also want to play the same game. Okay, that's nice. So continue, Philbert. So then on Wednesday, what happened?
My name is Alexander.
Hi, Alexander.
On Monday to Thursday, we are having our normal studies, and on Friday we did worship. After the worship, we had a PTA meeting in school, in Parents and Teachers Association. Thank you.
Okay. Alexander. Alexander. Okay, I think his stuff is muted. Anybody in front want to share with us how the week was? Hi, Sharif.
Madam, throughout the week. Hello.
Hello.
Madam, throughout the week, I traveled to my grandmother to do naming ceremony. So when I went there, they prepared a delicious meal called tuonzapi.
Hey, that's my favorite. Did you know that?
That's what I have.
Oh, nice. When I come to Ghana, we have to go and eat some. Okay. Sharif. Anybody in France want to talk?
Please, madam.
Hi, Martin.
Please, madam. My name is. Madam, please, on Friday, we did PTA meeting. So after the PTA meeting, we do an entertainment, which is called modeling.
What is PTA meeting?
Madam, please, Parents Association meeting.
Oh, okay. So it's just like here. Okay. And then what do you guys do later?
Yes, the people are talking and we are looking at you.
I'm so beautiful. That's the problem. The whole goal is always. Hey, don't come here. Doing-
Madam,
Yes.
hello.
Yes.
This Agnes Nya, hi, we are back. Yeah, we are
Hey,
back.
Agona.
Madam, I hope everything is fine.
All is well. It's nice to hear your voice.
Thank God.
What is the exciting stuff going on your campus?
Last 3 days, that was Thursday and then Friday, we're having inter-house athletics. That was really good. But the sad thing was that I'm in house 3 and we didn't won the trophy.
Oh.
I'm sad about that. Yes,
Well, next time you guys can try harder. I like stories like that. And we love to see pictures of these things, you know. So if you guys have access to take pictures or videos, do that and share so we can be able to understand the exciting stuff going on in Ghana and stuff. And I will do my best to also share some of the things going on here.
all right.
Okay. Yeah, next time you guys should practice well so you can win.
Okay.
So anyone, what is her name? Rama, anything? Jeremiah, I don't see you on the Zoom.
Yeah, his laptop.
Kayla, you good? You need help? You need help? Okay, I'm coming over there. Uncle Tony, come and help you.
With logging in.
Okay, so what else? So now before Miss Rena comes and join us, anyone else wanna brief us on what we learned last week? We will start with Julie, since Julie is trying to hide from us. Juliana. Julie. Is this girl okay? Remember wasum, Anna. Julie, I can't remember wasum.
Oh, you joined already? What time you guys started today? Yeah. Let's go now.
So what did we talk about last week?
So help.
What did Julie say? I couldn't hear. Anybody hear what Julie said?
Say it.
Mental health.
Okay, Alexander. You're on mute, Alex.
Madam, please, we learned mental health.
What about mental health did we learn? Anybody? What about mental health? Julie said mental health. Alexander said mental health. What about mental health that we learned last week? Because if somebody asks you, what did we learn? And you say mental health, they be like, huh? That's it? What about mental health? What was so special? What was Ariane and Dave on Zoom? Today is not game day, please.
My name is Bettina Libe, and mental health is the capacity to think, feel, and act on something that will affect the human life.
Okay. Okay. So it's the capacity to think, to feel, and to act, right? Is that what you said?
Mental health is like, sorry.
Ariane,
Mental health is like it's like health for your brain.
Health for your mentality.
Yeah, what he said. Health for your mental health. Anyways, mental health is actually mental health is health that you have to make you like it's for your brain. I forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind. Okay, is it echoing anymore? Yeah, it is.
anybody else want to add what Ariane said? Alexander, your hands are up again. What do you have to say on the mental
Mental
health?
health is a state of well-being that enables people to cope with their stresses of life.
Okay, that's nice. And so was it anything special that you learned outside of the definition of what mental health is from last week? Anything, what are some of the different types of mental health that Miss Rena named or taught us last week? She lists a lot of them. Anyone? Amira, Rama, Naima. You named one. What is ODD?
Oppositional defiant disorder.
You are on mute, so we cannot hear you.
Oppositional defiant disorder.
Okay, thank you. And what is that? What does that even mean? How does a person behave or react when they have something? What are some of the symptoms?
They're like aggressive.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else in Ghana? Francie, Francis even left the room. Okay. Anybody else want to list any of the mental health cases that Miss Rena taught us last week? Anybody, anyone? Team Ghana, Team USA, Rama, Amira, David, Ariane. Yes. What did we learn last week?
That there's multiple ways.
You're on mute.
There's multiple ways to take care of your mental health.
Okay. What are some of the ways that you have to take care of your mental health?
You can do special activities or the lack of, like, for example, not staying on your computer all the time.
Okay. So activities like sports helps with mental health, right? Right? Am I correct, guys? Okay. Okay, if you are speaking, I'm here, I can hear you, but those online will not be able to hear you. So if you can unmute yourself, so that those online will be able to hear you. And if you are not on Zoom, try and be on Zoom so we can all be in one accord, okay? So we said that some of the things that you do to take care of your mental health, Ariane said what? Activities like sports helps with your mental health. What are some of the activities that you can do to help with your mental health? Anybody?
What about agriculture?
What?
Agriculture.
What is acupuncture?
Yeah.
That means you are not in class. Anybody else? Anything else?
So
What
I
about-
can see why she would say acupuncture, because some people actually use it as a means of relieving stress because it targets the nerves and stuff. So
Okay. Okay, so David is right then. Okay. Anybody, because I when we were working,
Madam.
I went downstairs and he was playing games. We
Madam.
our instructor Uncle Nee said what we eat is also makes an impact on our mental health. Is that right? Anybody want to confirm that? Anyone want to confirm the food we eat can also
Yes. Yes, madam.
Okay, great. So when we eat healthy food or a balanced diet, right? It helps with your mental health too. Okay. So it's now 10:01. We don't want to waste Ms. Rena's time. And so some of you have submitted your assignment. Good job. Those who have not done it, please go on Google Classroom when we finish class today. If you need help too, let me know. I'll help you to get into Google Classroom. And with that being said, we are going to release the bar for Miss Rena to take over. Alex, what do you want to say before she comes on? Alex, what do you want to say before she comes on?
Madam, talk about your feelings.
Talk about your feelings. What does that even mean to talk about your feelings? Sharif, we are waiting. Elaborate on it a little bit for those who were not here last week.
Madam, please keep in touch with others.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, Miss Rena, the class is yours. Thank you so much.
Maybe say I want to think about it.
so the feedback thing, how do you handle the feedback with the noise and stuff?
It's something that because we are not on the ground, they try their very best to help really, but it's
An issue.
yeah.
All right, so good morning, everyone. I was listening a little bit when I joined about you all reviewing from last week, and I saw the quizzes come in. So I guess I created more work for myself. Yay, I'll be tackling that shortly. So I'm going to be talking about communication today, but before I dive into communication, I was talking to my mom to kind of better understand how to connect mental health for children in Ghana. And so some things that she shared with me was she just retired a year ago in Kumasi, and there was a 13-year-old who was pregnant because her mom left and her dad is a mate, transportation system, so he's always gone. So there is nobody at home per se to take care of her, to tell her what to do. And so she's kind of left to herself to take care of herself. So for that child, if she ever went to a clinic or she was ever in my office and we were doing the intake process for her, one of the issues that she'll be dealing with is abandonment because mom is gone. The other thing that she will be diagnosed with would be adjustment issues. And if there are other things going on, whether somebody forced themselves on her, for her to start that type of behavior or whatever else may have led into it would also be explored. So off the back, she's dealing with abandonment, and she's also going to be dealing with how to adjust with raising herself, not having a mother there. So those will be some things that she'll be dealing with. The other thing that she shared with me is that you have some kids who the parents are not there. So they're being raised by other family members. And so if that family member has like a chop bar, so to speak, or they run they work in the market, they're gone majority of the time. So if they're gone, that child is left to their own. So sometimes they don't have resources for school, books, for instance. So if you don't have books, you can't really do your work. Secondly, the mother that's going to be there to check your work, to make sure that you've turned it in, if you've done it correctly, if you've showered yourself, some of those upbringing that you would get, it's not available because they're gone before you wake up. And by the time they come in, you're sleeping because they're trying to make money to make sure that you're taken care of in some other areas. So while they are addressing some areas, the parts that you really need them for, it's kind of neglected because they're not available to help with that. So that's also an adjustment issue that child would be dealing with. The other thing that she mentioned with respect to those who live with other people, if that person is running a chop bar, for instance, and that child has to wake up and help that person set that place up before they go to school. So she said initially, when that child would come, this particular student would come to school, to her class, she was always late. She would come in 9, 10 o'clock. And she didn't understand, so she would kick the child back out and send the child home. But when she got to understand what was going on with the child, she would allow the child to come into class. But when she came into class, she was tired because she had to wake up, she had to make a pot of banku and help set everything up before she came to class that morning. So by the time she gets in there at 10, 9, 10 in the morning, she's tired, so she sleeps. So she allows her to sleep. But when she does get rest and she wakes up and the friend explains to her what is going on in that classroom, she's smart enough that she's able to get her work done. But as you can see, there's a lot of components going in. If you have that teacher who is not taking that extra time to find out what is going on with this kid, she's always going to be kicked out and nobody's going to understand. And it's going to go into a whole lot of different scenarios. So just wanted to bring that to your attention. So today we are dealing with communication. If I can get my computer to do what it's supposed to do. Whoops, don't want that. Can you all see my screen?
Maybe.
Yes.
So before I start today, I wanted to tell you a quick story. I listened to Premier Watts, and he shares this story about this young man who wanted to be wise. He wanted to attain wisdom. So he goes on this search to find out what wisdom is and to get it for himself. And so someone tells him that there is an old man someplace who has the wisdom that he's seeking for. So he finds his way and navigates and finds this old man. Sure enough, he finds the old man, tell the old man why he is there and what it is that he wants. And the old man said if it's wisdom that he wants, no problem, he can give it to him. He has one stipulation though, which is for him to
like rubber.
Guys, mute yourself, please. Sorry, Miss Rena.
That's okay. So the condition for him getting the wisdom is that he needed to stand there, be quiet, don't say anything, and wait for him to finish getting a bucket of water from the well. So the man asks, you mean all I have to do is stand here, don't talk, and don't say anything, and just wait for you to get a bucket of water from the well, and you would give me wisdom? And he said, yes. So he goes on and he said, well, no problem. That's easy enough. I can do. So this man starts, this old man goes ahead and puts the bucket in the well and gets the water. But by the time he brings the water back up, there are holes in the bucket. So by the time he gets back up, the water is empty. The bucket is empty. There's very little water in it. So this man standing there starts watching like, wait, what is going on? So this goes on for a while. And then the man goes, this is ridiculous. Doesn't he know that because there are holes in the bucket, this isn't going to work? He stood quiet for as long as he could. After a while, he just said, listen, old man, this isn't going to work. That bucket has holes in it. So it doesn't matter what you do or how many times you put the bucket in there. When you bring it back out, there are holes. The holes will let the water out. The old man said, you were correct. That is very true. You are the bucket. Because you are the bucket, it doesn't matter what I tell you or what I teach you, you will never be able to absorb the wisdom that it is that you were seeking for. So because of that, when the man understood what the old man was saying, he left. What does that have to do with communication or even mental health? We are all born from a specific family. We learn certain habits. You are in school, you acquire certain skills and stuff. You interact with people in your community. You begin to come up with your own ideas and concepts. So there are some times where you have to listen to someone for 2 hours. But by the time the person starts getting to the half hour of that presentation, you check out because to you, you already know what it is that they're about to say and you already have all the knowledge. You can find it for yourself. And so you don't spend the time to listen or wait for them to finish. It doesn't matter how smart a person is, there is always somebody who is smarter, who has maybe something more than you have. And if you spend the time to listen and wait, that little thing that you need for you to be propelled to the next place, that person will be the one to give it to you. But if you don't take the time to for them to get to that place to give it to you, you will end up losing up on something that you desperately needed. So off the bat, that kicks into communication. What is communication? Communication, I discovered this week actually, is a Greek word, koinonio, which means to share with others, to distribute, or to partake in something. I am going to try to minimize this so I can see what I'm doing. It is a process of passing, sharing, exchange, or distributing information, ideas, and knowledge between two or more people, using a particular medium or a specific symbol. The power of communication is that it allows us to create relationships. It adds value to it. The success of that relationship is dependent on the way that the information is shared, and it tests the loyalty also. There are, I want to say, 7 elements of communication. You have a sender who's going to send a message. It's going to be coded. There's going to be some noise around it. The medium is going to be sent. It has to be decoded by the receiver, and then the receiver has to send feedback back to the sender. Am I going too fast?
Yes.
Okay. All right. The sender is the person.
Someone said go back, please.
Go back where? How far back do you want me to go?
The next slide.
This?
Yes.
Okay, what is the question with this slide?
We're taking notes, so.
Oh. I wouldn't know to go on until somebody tells me.
They say go on, please.
Thank you. So the elements of communication, the first one is the sender. This is the person that is going to start the communication process. This is the person that is going to start the sharing process. Then you have the message. That is what is being shared to the other person or to the audience. Then you have the encoding, like you would encode something, computers. Encoding is how the message is shared with the other person or the other party. Channel, the medium in which the message is sent, whether you're using phones, you're using computer, you're using letters, telegram, you're using a bird to send the message. Receiver is the person who is receiving the message or who is the message is going to. Decoding, when the receiver gets the message, they have to interpret the message. Based on how they interpret the message, they have to send the message, they have to send a message back to the sender. So that is feedback. And then noise is anything that interferes with the message being sent temporarily. So if you're having a headache when the message comes in, you're going to feel some type of way about it and you're going to interpret it some type of way. If you are upset with the person who is sending the message or you're not on good speaking terms with that individual, when the message comes through, if you haven't cleared the air, you are basically attaching whatever feelings that you have from your last encounter with that message that was sent. And so your response is going to be based on all those feelings and stuff that you have that you're going to send back to the sender. So basically, the sender is the person that is going to code the word. And they are going to code it based on their experiences with you, their skills, and their perception, which has to do with the way they interact with their environment, the relationship that they have with you. So for instance, there are some people that talk to their families based on audio. When you send an audio to someone, and that's the only way that you talk to that person. So for them, their whole relationship has to do with audio. Some people too use emojis. And so that's the only way that they communicate. All their communication is based on emojis. Some people are using videos, or they're using what do you call it? TikTok, and I forget the other thing the kids are using right now for communication that everybody's trying to get on. So the message is sent to the receiver. As you can see, the noise is up there with the message that was sent. There is something going on. When the receiver gets the message, they have to decode it. I suck at emojis. I know just the basic emojis. So, and then even text language, TTYL, some of them said WYD, WYH, and I'm going, what does that mean? Because that's not a language I use. I don't understand it. So if you just sent me letters right now, I am really going to ask you, what does that mean? But if you have somebody who you talk to in that manner, when you send those things, it's easy for them to understand because that's how you communicate. I know when I was in JHS, we use numbers. Please get out. We use numbers. So if I wrote in a notebook 143, my mom will have no idea what that means, but that is saying I love you. So the I is 1, love is 4 because it's LOVE, 4 letters. And then U is YOU, 3 letters. So it's 143. So if you ever saw that with my group, if you saw anyone have something on there or somebody send something to somebody that says 143, that person was saying, I love you. So based on the code that both of you have set for each other, that's how you would communicate with each other. The biggest communication problem we have right now is that we do not listen to understand, we listen to reply. What that simply means is when somebody's talking to you, you're listening. However, you are already coming up with a response for that person. So before that person finished talking, you already know what questions you're going to ask. You already know what answer you're going to give them. And sometimes because you can't wait for them to finish, you interrupt them to get what it is that you want said. So there are styles of active listening. I'm not going to go too much into listening today, but I wanted to bring it in. You have active listening and reflective listening. Active listening, you're holding the person's eye contact. This is actually a big thing growing up in Ghana. When an adult is talking to you and you're not looking at them, they think that you are being disrespectful. Some cultures actually want you to look at them when they're talking to you. There are some teachers that have an issue with this, but if you have a kid that's on the ADHD spectrum or the autistic spectrum, it's not that they're not listening, but because they're so hyper-focused, they're listening. They can do multiple things at the same time. So you have that kid, he is playing with blocks, but every little thing that you're saying, he's listening. He's even listening a whole lot more than that person in the classroom who is not doing anything and thinks that they're looking at you. So there is a misconception there with the whole holding eye contact thing. But majority of the time when people are talking, they want you to look at them. Is this the reason why if you talk to your parents and they're not looking at you, or even your friends and they're not responding, you feel like they're not listening to what you're saying, or they think whatever you're saying is irrelevant. You want to maintain a good posture, whether you're nodding or giving subtle cues. Yeah, go on. You have to watch your body language and allow the speaker to finish their thought process completely. We struggle with waiting for a person to finish making a statement or saying what they have to say without interrupting them mid-sentence. That's an issue for all of us, especially in the middle of an argument. Reflective listening, repeating and paraphrasing what the person has said. So, for instance, I think last week Ariane made a joke about going to a doctor and having 80 types of something, and I did not understand what he was saying, and he was making a joke, but I didn't realize that he was making a joke because I didn't have that type of rapport with him. So I asked the question, but then because I still wasn't getting what he was saying, the statement I made was, if he wouldn't mind waiting for me to finish this presentation, then we can have a separate conversation later for me to better understand what he was saying. So I tried to paraphrase, but it wasn't working because his thought process was to make a joke, but my thought process was that he was asking a serious question based on maybe an encounter that he had. So that right there was a reflection, a little piece of a reflection. So then he came back and said, oh, he was joking. So that was an example right there from last week.
Yeah, ADHD is.
What was that?
I don't know what an ADHD is, but I had but my doctor said I had 80 of them.
Yeah, that statement. Yep. Active listening simply means you're removing all distractions. You're listening to the speaker signs and sounds, and you're giving feedback that you understood. So when I would say something like, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or put in the chat section statements if you have questions, or you can stop and ask me questions, is to make sure that whatever information I'm trying to give you, that you understood. If you didn't understand it, it's important for you to let me know right then and there so that I will find a better way to understand. If that means stopping the class and doing everything I can to get that information to you, or if that means I have to engage with you one-on-one, find out where the block is or where the misunderstanding is. But whatever it is, I would have to make sure that I get that information to you so that you understand. But if you don't give me that feedback, for me, I think you got it. You didn't. And then there's a miscommunication. And when you get a quiz or a test, you don't get the grade that you want. I thought you understand. You said you understood, but then you didn't. I heard a man in Ghana say, when the teacher says, do you understand? Everybody says yes. But then when she goes into the local language and says, Muti asie, then they'll say it's a miscommunication there. With active listening, you're asking open-ended questions, which means that whatever question that you ask, the answer cannot be yes or no. It has to give you an explanation. You are requesting for clarification. This is what I heard you say. Is that what you meant? You are attentive, you're summarizing, you're paraphrasing, reflective feelings. Everything that comes our way, we have some type of feelings about it. It's important that the feelings that we attach to things that come our way is appropriate. If we don't attach the right feelings to it, we end up giving our long-term brain an information that could later on impact our thought process and everything else. And then that triangle thing from last week starts all over again. So we need to be attuned to your feelings, know what you're feeling, know what your body's telling you, what it's doing, and make sure that whatever it's doing, it's right. It's not because of what somebody else is doing or you're picking up somebody else's stuff. So sometimes somebody will say something to you and you are upset for that person and you tend to interact with other people based on what that person was shared with you, but you don't know that you're doing it. For instance, you have a friend that's going through something and you desperately want to do something for that friend to help them out. However, you don't know how to help that person. So you're going around upset, frustrated, and everybody is mean and you're angry with that person simply because no one is helping your friend out. You have to ask probing questions. You can't be afraid of the answer no. You can't be afraid of them saying that's a stupid question. There is never such a thing as a stupid question. So I am that person that will ask the question that nobody wants to ask. I am that person that is not afraid to ask the question regardless of what the majority of the people in the room is going to say. As a matter of fact, I took a survey that says that my personality type is the person that will ask the question that nobody wants to ask because they are afraid. I didn't think of it as being afraid or that nobody wants to ask. For me, it was I need to know and I need to understand. That way I can make sure that whatever information I'm giving to my kids, it's right. So my mindset is I am going to go through it to test it out. That way I can give my children the right information. So the minute I change that mindset, there is no such thing that is off the table for me. If it's on the table and I want to explore it, I'm going at it. The barriers with listening has to do with the way we think and the way we hear things. If the stuff is not interesting to you, you're not paying attention to it. So you already have judgments about it. And if you don't like the person that is speaking, or there is something about their tone and the way they speak that you don't like, you've checked out. If the subject matter is not something that you care about, you're done. If it has anything to do with your belief system and it goes against what you believe, you're not listening to it. So you have those people that are super religious. So like everything, if they go to church and the preacher is not talking about, oh, this person is a witchcraft, is a witch. Oh, that person is trying to kill you. It's a demon, demon, demon. Then you have that person that's going, there's no such thing as a demon. They're not going to have a good relationship because to them, you don't understand. This person is trying to attack me and that person is trying to, no, it's not that person, it's you. You need to fix yourself. The issue you have with your parents or any adults that you're trying to get to understand. Oh, it's a different generation. Get over it. In our times, we were spanked. In your times, you're not being spanked. School is not hard. You have everything going for you. But there's a different things going on now in school that wasn't in school when we were in school. So when you don't take the time to sit down and understand each other, it becomes a whole new issue. Your parents don't care. Then the parents are thinking, man, my child is difficult. They just don't listen or they're not trying. And then the child begins to go into a whole new habit of self-harm or engaging in other reckless behaviors. Just a brief thing about listening. So I have a listening activity that I want you all to participate in. So it's Camille Saint-Saëns. He is a French composer. This piece you're about to listen to is actually over a century years old. If my math is correct and my research is correct, it's about 150 years old. If you know the cuckoo bird and the cuckoo sound it makes, so Camille has recreated a piece and incorporated the cuckoo sound in the piece using a clarinet. So for this activity, I want you to count how many times you hear cuckoo. This is going to take everything in you to see if you're really beginning to use that active listening component that I briefly went into. So do you all understand what it is that you're supposed to be listening for and what you're supposed to be counting? Yay, nay?
Yay.
Okay. So I'm gonna play and I want you to count how many times you hear cuckoo. Then when this is done, I want you to put in the chat section at the end of it, how many times you heard the sound cuckoo. We want to see how many people were actually listening.
We can't hear the sound.
The sound's not coming through.
Stop sharing your screen and reshare with a sound. At the bottom part, you will see somewhere that says share sound when you do share screen.
Oh, technology. So I see share screen, summary, AI companion, apps, whiteboard. Oh, there's share sound. Got it. So I am going to start this if I can. So how many do we have? Okay. Somebody counted 20. Anybody else? 20, 20, 20, 20 or 19, 23.
You're
I think
supposed to.
maybe 21. All right. For the sake of time, those of you that got 21, you're right.
Yay!
21. We thought they were sleeping.
Yes. Hey. No.
So there's actually 21. So you see how in the communication, There may have been some noise that came in. First, there was a sound issue you couldn't hear. And so then I had to go back and figure it where the sound thing was to share the sound with you. Then we had to start it all over again. All that may have created some type of interference. Then if you don't really know what to listen for the cuckoo sound, that also became another noise component. So by the time you caught on to it, that there was a repetitive thing, that was what you needed to count. You may have either counted too much or you may have counted less. So the listening component, that just for you to get a little bit of an example of how that works, that's why I brought this in. So congratulations to those of you that got 20. You were very close, but 21 is the right answer that we were looking for. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I don't want this again. All right. Communication. The means of sharing. We are always communicating. Even though the two main forms of communication are verbal and non-verbal, the body, let me go back, let me do this one. Verbal has to do with written, oral, or visual. The non-verbal has to do with body language. There is research that shows that there is more non-verbal communication than there is verbal. So we can say majority of the time we communicate non-verbally, maybe 70%, and verbally we communicate 30%. Why? Because your body is always talking. If you've ever heard those statements where somebody would say, oh my gosh, I went to this funeral and the person looks so peaceful, you would think they were sleeping. You couldn't tell that they were dead. That body's telling you something, that it's at peace. Then in other instances, you would hear, oh my goodness, I went to the funeral and oh, that person led a really rough life. Like they really went through something. You see people on the street, those who are doing drugs, you see their bodies, the way that they handle themselves or their behavior, their body's trying to communicate to you about something. As a matter of fact, people who use drugs or alcohol as a means of coping, they're sending an information, something happened to them. They don't know how to handle it. The only way they know how to deal with it is the option that they have used, which is the substance. Verbally, you're writing stuff, whether you're using emojis to send it, whether you're using text talk to send it, but it's some type of communication. Orally, you're speaking to someone, like I'm talking to you all right now, and visual, we're using pictures. Well, I guess visual would be the emotions and the pictorial stuff that we sent. So there are two main forms of communication. You have verbal and non-verbal. Verbal falls in oral. What was that?
In the cross.
Verbal has to do with written, oral, and visual. Whatever came in just now, that was some type of communication. We can call it a noise, so to speak, and for the purposes of this presentation. So that noise is coming in. We have to find a way to decode what it is that is happening that's causing the interference to make sure that the message that is being sent out is sent out properly. So there are four main styles of communication. So what is your communication style? So at any given time, actually, you can go any different way with any of these styles, okay? Depending on who you are interacting with and the subject matter. This is something that I have actually been teaching to kids in elementary school and middle school right now, simply because communication is a big issue. It's a huge problem. Majority of the issues that are coming through my office is because of not ineffective communication. So the first one we call a passive communicator. This is the person that does not share the feelings with others and they pretend everything is okay. So if you are that person, or you have that friend that would never tell you what is going on, never shares anything, as a matter of fact, if you do something to them, they laugh it off and say it's not a big deal. You see people picking on them, but they don't do anything about it. They just chalk it off. This is a passive communicator. The animal that I use to explain this is the turtle. In other words, this person, when things happen, they retreat into the shell and they hide. If you know anything about the turtle, when something is going on, or it's scared, or it's spooked, it goes into its shell, its head and legs and everything goes in, and it hides. And you can kick the shell all you want. It's not coming out. It's not coming to say anything. So that is the animal that I use to associate with this type of communicator to help children better understand. So this person, because they keep their feelings and stuff bottled in, eventually it can lead to a massive outburst. So if you've seen in the news or ever heard in the situation where it says, oh, this child or this individual, not even a child, this youth, this young adult went to the school. There was one I read about a few years back. This girl was going to a Catholic school. She graduated, she's in her like early 20s, but she went back to the school and shot up the school, killed some students and some teachers, and then she killed herself. She would fit this communication style perfectly, simple because based on the information that I read, you have to see that something happened in the school, and either she spoke with someone but didn't quite get her voice heard, or because she didn't speak and said it was no big deal, it kept going on, it kept happening, and she kept bottling it up. It got to a point where she couldn't take it anymore because that anger or whatever happened is still in there. When she exploded, everybody got hurt. So that is your passive communicator. They are like a turtle. They retreat and go into the shell. Then you have your aggressive communicator. The aggressive communicator is going to tell you what they're feeling, but they are trying to hurt you with their words and actions. So they're going to stand up for themselves, but the way they respond is rude, disrespectful, and harmful. What happens with this type of relationship is people around you are always walking on eggshells because they don't know how to deal with you, because they never know at any given point if you're going to embarrass them, if you're going to turn on them. If you think of Lindsay Lohan's character in the movie Mean Girls, she would fit she would be a good example for an aggressive communicator, because she was popular, she had her own clique, and whatever she said in school was the law. And so if you did anything that ever got in her way, she can very much make your life a living hell, so to speak. If you have that parent who always, like the example I gave you last week with the kid who has the mom who was always cursing at him, using profanity, and their interaction is not what you would consider an actual mother-son relationship. It was more like a couple relationship, an explosive couple relationship. She go at him, he goes at her. There was no respect, there was no anything. She says things to hurt him and he says things to hurt her, and that's just the communication. So that's all they know. So if a girl was ever dating this guy, anything he's ever going to say to her is going to be disrespectful, because that's all he knows. That's how he knows how to talk to a female. And so if you're a girl dating this person, you're going, you like them, but then, geez, like, how much of this you will call it abuse, in which in a sense it is verbal abuse, can you take without you beginning to internalize what they're saying about you and think you are those things. So as you can see, you're going to be walking on eggshells around them. You're always trying to do things to make them happy, but there is nothing that you're ever going to do that is ever going to make them happy. This is something that they have to work on themselves. So that is why we use the snake for this, because regardless of the stuff that we talked about last week about snakes, when they go on attack, they're on attack. You have the passive aggressive communicator. The passive aggressive communicator is one who does not share their feelings directly, but instead they will say or do things to retaliate. In a sense, they throw shade, so to speak. So if you have that friend that offends you, or they do something to you, instead of you going to them directly to tell them that, oh no, I don't like this thing that you did, this person is going to put a social media post and they're going to say what happened and say their feelings, but they're not going to mention the person's name. So they have plausible deniability. They can say, oh, I didn't say your name. I was talking about somebody else. I can't help it that you feel offended. I mean, if the shoe fit, that's not my problem. That's that passive aggression thing going there. We use the fox because the fox is misleading. It looks like a dog, but it's not a dog. It looks friendly, like you can pet it, but it has a very aggressive nature that is hidden, that if you're not careful, when it goes on strike, you're going to get hurt very badly. So the negative thing about this type of communication is that people struggle being around you because it's hard to resolve conflict because of your behavior is likely to cause anger. Do I need to pause? Am I going too fast? Or is everybody on the same page with the styles?
Juliana, aka passive aggressive communication, just a minute.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the question.
Could you give someone an extra minute?
Oh, the writing?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
She feels that she is the passive aggressive.
Oh,
Sometimes. But I'm also very sweet. I'm sweet, but I'm passive aggressive.
Can a person be sweet, passive aggressive? Because
yes.
Hey,
what a wow.
what a shock.
Hey,
But like if I also love you, I'll also be mean to you. It's weird.
That is passive aggressive though. That's the whole thing with passive aggressive. They love you, but they hate you. There are some days they're okay with you, but don't come for them. If you come for them, all bets are off. They're coming for you.
yeah. The lion looks like a cat, but
It's a very beautiful creature. Not don't attack the lion. Lions are beautiful, so is the wolf. And the fox. Have you seen foxes laugh when they're excited?
Oh my gosh.
I have a small story to tell. This won't take much time.
That was very
But
ADHD of me.
so I live next to a forested area, and not soon, what am I saying? Recently, there was a couple of foxes that came to our backyard, and in the middle of the night, it sounded like human children were screaming. That is not a fox. That is a Wendigo. That is not a fox. That is a force of nature, something that should not be messed with. We have gone too far to see stuff like that exist.
Adorable.
We never considered if we should. We only considered if we could.
That is that.
I have no comment. The person that's writing, are you done writing? Yay, nay?
Okay, you say we can continue. Thank you.
Okay. Then you have the assertive communicator. The assertive communicator is the best medium to express your thoughts and feelings because this person is going to stand up for themselves, but they're going to do it in a kind, firm, and respectful manner. So the key things to remember about this type of speaker or communicator is that they're kind, but they're firm and they're respectful. And if they don't like you, they will let you know in a way that you would not feel disrespected. While this type of communication does not guarantee conflict resolution, it provides the best option for a positive response. We want that positive response. We can't always get it, but this would be the agree to disagree communication. Whereas you're agreeing, but then there's conflict, and then it's going to end in some type of somebody getting hurt situation. This one, you can both be on the same medium. Why do we use the owl for this? The owl is the animal. Unfortunately, there are some negative conceptions about the owl in Ghana. But if you actually got to understand the owl, you will know that there are some really cool things about it. So for instance, it is the animal that is associated with wisdom. It is nocturnal. So there aren't that many animals that actually can see in the night, but this animal does. So in other words, the night we will associate with conflict. The night we will associate with anything that comes into your daily basis to bring impairment. If you're able to see the positive during that impairment, you were able to rise to a higher level of ascension where you are seeing everything positive. So in other words, because this animal sees, I don't know if I explained that right. It sounded different in my head. I don't know, because this animal sees things at nighttime, we want you to work on seeing everything positive, regardless of what time of day it is and who you're dealing with and what type of situation is coming your way. It may be the funkiest type of thing, but try to see the positive in it. Because the more you turn to be more positive oriented in your thinking, it helps your brain patterns and your processing, and it makes you a healthier person so that you don't have a crash. You don't have multiple mental health breakdowns or meltdowns down the line. And so the owl is the animal that we associate with an assertive communication. So
Someone has a question.
yeah,
Question statement.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say the owl is also the Greek representation of Athena, the goddess of wisdom.
Hey,
there you go.
okay, that's nice.
Yeah, I have some people doing my Greek mythology stuff with me. Yes.
I'm a Percy Jackson girl.
Hey,
Oh my gosh, yeah, we are watching it on Disney too. I'm all things Greek mythology over here. So yes,
I
that's
don't
awesome.
have Disney Channel, so I can't Disney Plus. I can't watch it anymore.
Oh, yeah,
You
it is
gotta borrow
cool.
me
My
$15,
daughter,
like get it for a month just to watch the show.
Maybe I will get you the Disney account.
maybe if you all can convince Miss Letitia and Mr. Tony, they can get the subscription, and one Saturday when you all come in, you can do a Greek mythology thing and connect it to different things and try to like explore it, like analyze it. They can do the subscription for you. I'm just throwing it out there, no pressure.
we will send you donation packet. So you
I'll donate.
All right, so the OWL stands for observe, wait, and listen. An owl is able to hold its own confidently and strong. An owl listens to listen and not to respond. So, the key thing with assertive communication is listen to listen and not to respond. When somebody says something or you hear something, wait, don't be so quick to give a response. You have to learn to be comfortable with silence. It's like we struggle. The minute silence falls in a place, we feel like we have to fill it with words. But majority of the time, when you rush to fill it with words, you actually end up getting yourself in more trouble, or you make the situation a whole lot more awkward and weird than it needs to be. So if you can learn to become comfortable with not saying anything and just be silent, sometimes the best thing you can do for a person, especially somebody who's grieving, is just be present with them. I have some kids where I am telling their parents that if this child is having a massive meltdown, all that child wants you to do is to sit in that room with them. Maybe all you have to do is sit next to them and be rubbing their arm or their leg or their back for them to know that you're there, but you don't need to say anything. The more you're saying it's okay, or something better will come, or you tried your best, or don't mind them, it's their loss, not yours, you're not helping the situation. You're actually making the child feel worse. It's okay that some of these things happen to them. It helps them strengthen themselves, and it builds their interpersonal skills for conflict problem solving. But the more we try to deflect and try to make it somebody else's problem, it's somebody else's fault, we're taking the experience away from the child, and we're in a sense trying to teach them that whole blaming game, that blaming situation that we really don't want them to have. So we as parents, we as adults, sometimes we have to learn how to be comfortable with saying, I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. And it's okay that this sucks right now. It's okay that they didn't pick you. It's okay for you to feel the way that you're feeling right now. And you will have every right to feel the way that you're feeling. And you should be okay with that too. So we have to learn to listen and not respond. The whole point of communication with mental health is that if we're not communicating right, we increase our risk of anxiety and depression. So for instance, I have right now I have a 7th grader who is struggling to stay in school because she doesn't know how to make friends. When COVID happened and she was homeschooled for 2 years, she didn't go out. All she knew was her mom, dad, and her sister and the other family members. Because family, you can act certain ways, but when you're with people outside, the behavior is different. When she was put back into school, she was struggling to make friends. She was struggling when people say things. So every small thing that was said, she would take it the wrong way. And she came to a place where she became desperate for friendship. And so if a friend does not text her, or if she sees her sister or somebody else on the phone talking, but she doesn't have anybody else messaging her, or her phone is blinking, she feels like there is something wrong with her and nobody likes her. So it's better if she does not exist. It's to the point where I legit have a conversation with her parents 2 years ago, and I'm like, I'm going to need you to take her phone away until she can get herself regulated. Because when we took her phone away for 6 weeks last school year, she was doing great. She made a friend. We put some measures in place where I let the school secretary know she cannot come to use the school phone and say she's calling her mom. I had to talk to her mom and let her mom know, you are not going to tell her to call home for this, when she's not going to be calling unless it's an emergency. And then I let mom know what those emergency situations are. And I have to let her teachers also know what those emergency situations are. Right now, the plan that we have in place for this particular child, she is never, ever allowed outside of her classroom She is not leaving her classroom to go to the bathroom. If she's going to the bathroom, she's going to the nurse's office for to use the bathroom. Secondly, she is never allowed to use the phone at school for anything. If anyone has to call the parents for her to be picked up, it has to be medical, and the nurse would be the one to call and say she's having a headache, she's having this issue, so you can come pick her up. Because I'm using exposure therapy with her, which means that the more she's in the situation, she has no choice but to sink or swim, which is the best thing I can do for this child. So another example with the same kid, last week, Friday, she had to give a presentation. She felt like she needed her phone. But initially, she told the teacher that there are two people in the class who were making fun of her, so she does not want to do this assignment. She would rather do it in another class. And I said, no, that's not happening. We're not doing that because if she does not learn how to do this public speaking thing now in front of those people, it's going to forever stay with her and she's always going to run from them. So you see that anxiety is going to keep increasing. Her depression with respect to her feelings about herself is going to go down the toilet. She's going to continue increased risk of not necessarily experiencing abuse, but she will internalize it as abuse simply because somebody looked at you the wrong way. You don't know what's going on with that person or what they're thinking in their head. But because of this notion that you have created that nobody likes you, the minute you see something that may look anything close like it's looking at you, you internalize it that it's against you. So you can see that kid, their self-esteem is down the toilet, their confidence is not there, their self-image is no good, where she's saying she does not like her body, she would like to have plastic surgery. And so she's telling me she's a Christian. So I told you, I don't know if I mentioned this to you all last week, that the word I use to describe myself is weird. And all the parents that come to my office know this. So I am that person that will tell you, well, if you believe God and that you pray and he listens, no problem. Go to God and tell God that he made a mistake in how he created you and let me know what he says. So this is what I tell the kid. Go pray, tell God that he made a mistake, that the body parts he gave you and the way he made you is not right. This is what it needs to be. And let me know what he says. And so this is something that she's working on in increasing her self-esteem. Right now she has, I think, a friend group. There are about 4 or 5 people in there that she talks with, and they have similar interests that she has. But there's still some other stuff that she is dealing with. And some of it has to do with the communication needs at home because the parents are on 2 different spectrums. Dad is of one thought because that is foreign, that is not from here. And because mom is American and she's from here, her thinking is also different. So while dad would like to raise her based on some of the concepts and things that he was raised on, it's a conflict because mom is not used to those things and doesn't understand. So it's almost like they're always going against each other. And that is also creating a confusion for the child, and she doesn't know where she's going. And so it's creating a whole lot of issues for her. So communication is essential. It's almost like the thing with the bucket with the holes in it. If we're not communicating appropriately, it doesn't matter how much degree you have. It doesn't matter how high you are in your job status. You're always going to be leaking somewhere. You have those people who are in Senate. Sometimes you see it in the news. They're in this high positions, but they're using drugs to self-medicate because something happened and they didn't talk about it. Something happened that they weren't able to tell someone to help them with. For one of the big issues that is happening here and also in Ghana, sometimes you have, especially in the African American community, you have the notion that some things we don't talk about, especially when it comes to sexual abuse, assault and stuff. as if it has to do with the person in the family, like a family member that did it. They don't talk about it. So the child feels like they're not heard. And so all the stuff is inside. It does impact your work ethic. I was talking to my husband last night, and he said there was a guy that he hired for a position. But the guy, every time he would come in so moody. And it was like it would impact the whole warehouse, and your interaction with them was just negative. And so one day he went to him and he said, "Hey, dude, what's the problem?" And he said he just has a lot going on. He said you need to talk to somebody. No, that's okay. He didn't talk. He ended up being fired because it was impacting his work. Then he got a job someplace else because my husband was concerned with him. He checked up on him again, and he said that one also let him go because that place also told him he needed to talk to somebody. So it's important that you have um, an adult that you trust, somebody who is not biased, somebody who is going to give you the truth. Even though the truth is going to hurt you, they're going to tell you the truth regardless of the situation, and for you to use that truth in your decision-making process. I tell my kids, always tell me the truth, and I'll always tell you the truth based on my understanding and your age level. If at any time you ask me a question that I feel like you may not be ready for, I will tell you. However, because of social media and technology, kids can go, every child right now has access to some type of electronic that they can go on something to Google, search something. They are getting information quicker than the parents are giving the information to them. So sometimes the information they're taking in is not appropriate. Anyone adult can create a website. Anyone can put any content on that website. And if you don't know how to do research to find out how to back up the information you're getting to see that there is something that has been done, that it's been proven, you're going to take just about anything and use that as a fact for what you're doing, which is actually not. Another example, I actually just discovered this week, so I am getting ready to schedule a family session in the next couple of weeks. I have another kid who just discovered she says that she was met someone. She asked me, what is rape? Do I know what rape is? And I said, yes, I know what rape is. Why is she asking me that? She said because she just now discovered what rape is. And she is in middle school, about to go to high school. And I'm like, okay, so what's going on? And so she tells me that in elementary school, in about second or third grade, she was playing Roblox. In the chat room, somebody messaged her. And so she responded back, and they were having a dialogue, a conversation. So I guess they became friends and they played the games together. So not long after that, the person asked her, where did she go to school? And she mentioned the name of the school. And that person said, oh yeah, they go to that school too. There are some places where the middle school is attached to the high school. So like elementary school will go to like either 6th or 7th grade. And then 8th grade would be like in the high school. So this was one of those situations. So even though this kid was in the middle school, supposedly, the middle school was on the same grounds as the elementary school. So he asked her to meet her during recess. So she goes, doesn't think anything about it, and the individual tries to sexually assault her. So she fights that person off. Then she ran. But she does not remember if she talked to her school guidance counselor about it. She didn't tell her mom about it. And because she heard something about rape and then she Googled it and she found out what rape is. Now, 4 or 5 years later, right now, the memory, see the brain, the storage, the retrieval stuff again, it's now bringing it back because now she has the information to deal with the situation. So now she's like, okay, is this what happened to me? And so she wants to tell her parents, and she says she shared a little bit with her mom, but she feels like her mom does not believe her. So right now she's having panic and she's shaking uncontrollably. She's always crying. So you see, anxiety and depression is coming in. Her self-esteem is not great. She always thinks everything is her fault, but she has these triggers too. Right now, she can see the individual again. So anybody that resembles anyone from that race is a problem for her. It's a trigger. Because of the way the encounter went, if you come up to her and you touch her, or like you play fight with her, you've triggered her, where it puts her back into that environment again, all because that communication piece was not explored. The information was not given to her at a young age about what to do. They tell you about stranger danger, but they don't go into details because they feel like you're not young enough or some of these things are not going to happen, but they're not monitoring your chat rooms and the people that you're talking to. What that whole situation with her and the chat room on Roadblocks, it's called grooming. And so sometimes grooming is a very gray area. People are talking to you. Sometimes you don't know if they're adults or if they're kids. For you, you think they're kids. I have a second grader who plays games with people in the middle and high school on her Oculus. It's a problem for me, but it's not for her parents. So I can't do anything about that. But I just have to do my best and monitor the situation the best I can. So sometimes parents think everybody that's playing these games are kids, but that's where the pedophile situation comes in. So this communication component on the way you think, the way you feel about yourself, the way you act, if you don't take care of it, where you are learning how to be an owl, you end up being a fox or turtle where you're always hiding into things, or you become a snake because you were so very angry at situations. If I were to use Frozen again, I'm doing a thing on Marvel. I haven't finished yet, so I'm not using any Marvel characters right now. If we were back to Frozen and we were using the Frozen movie again, we can say that if I were to ask you right now using the Frozen movie, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a second. Which character would be a snake from Frozen?
Who said, somebody answered.
Prince Han.
Prince Hans. Okay. Who would be a snake? I'm sorry. Yeah, a snake. Prince Hans would be the snake, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. Who would be the fox?
This madam, I want to be the fox.
Who would be the
Yeah,
fox?
the fox would be Elsa.
The fox would be Elsa. Okay. Who would be the turtle?
Yeah, wait.
Who would be turtle?
Anna.
Anna would be turtle.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If I were to use Marvel movies, let me just do Marvel movies. Who would be a snake in the Marvel movies? Any of the Marvel superheroes? Or the villains?
Could Tony say Loki would be the snake? Or somebody say Thanos?
Okay, so Tony's saying Loki would be a snake. Okay. Who would be the owl though?
Who would be the owl?
And which one? The marble?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many.
In the hog.
Yeah, no, Hulk is not. No, Bruce Banner is an owl. Hulk is just aggressive.
Hog, no.
Hulk is Hulk.
Hulk is a sweetheart, but he's
Hulk is
aggressive
not.
upward.
Hulk is not a snake. Hulk is not an owl. Hulk is not a fox. He is Hulk.
All right, I will leave that discussion for another time. So here is something I am getting ready to do that I am going to need your help with. And it is, oh, for crying out loud, I'm having technology issues today. Okay, so you're going to guess the animal using emojis. So this would be a verbal form of communication. So let's see if you can guess it. And because of all the feedbacks, you all are going to put everything in the chat. And I think I'm going to stop the time to see if you can guess.
Hey, monsters! Guess the animal by emoji. Let's get started.
What is that? Okay.
Butterfly.
What's that one? Mm-mm.
Bulldog.
What's this one? Yeah. Yeah. Whomever said
Dolphin.
that was good. What about this one?
Donkey.
Okay.
Donkey.
And this one?
Hey.
Awesome.
Deer. It's a deer.
Deer.
And this one?
Elephant.
Elephant.
Eagle.
Eagle.
Jellyfish.
It's a cake. Cake fish.
Jellyfish.
Tiger.
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 Nice one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kangaroo.
Wow. How do you come to like that?
All right. So I want to thank you all for playing. Whoa, let's go back. So I want all the girls to open your chat and put Miss Letitia in there. Miss Letitia is going to be your speaker. So all the girls, we're going to do girls versus boys. All the girls are going to send your answers to Miss Letitia. Miss Letitia has to be quick to say your answers for you to get the point because it's set up in Jeopardy style. And all the boys are going to send their answers. Do you want to send it to Mr. Tony or do you want to send it to, is it Arian?
Arian.
Anthony.
Okay. So you're going to send it to Mr. Anthony. So are you ready to play Jeopardy based on communication?
Team Ghana.
Remember, you can't, you have to text it because you're all in the same room. If you share your answer and he picks it up and he types it in, you're giving them the answers. So the boys are sending their answers to Mr. Tony and all the girls are sending their answers to Miss Letitia. So Miss Letitia, you have to speak for the girls and Mr. Tony, you have to speak for the boys. And let's play Jeopardy. So there are two teams. Miss Letitia, can you pick a fruit or a vegetable to represent the girls?
What?
Watermelon.
Watermelon for the girls, so the girls are watermelon. And Mr. Tony, for the boys, what are you gonna be?
He said orange.
I can't hear him.
Orange.
They said orange.
Okay. All right, so we only have 3 categories. We have basics, then we have the elements, and we have the styles. So I am going to pick the first one just to start us off with. And I'm only going to hear from Mr. Tisha and Mr. Tony. So whomever gets the answer correct, I'll put it in your section. So girls are watermelon and boys are orange. Just like Jeopardy, if you get the answer wrong, we will deduct it. So do we all understand? I'm gonna take that as a yes. Here's your first question. Miss Letitia speaks or Tony speaks?
Oh, I got it. I think different time. Said it.
No one has the answer?
We said it.
I didn't
Communicate.
hear you.
We typed
We said it like-
element of
Oh,
communication.
you have to speak.
Oh, sorry. It's in the chat room.
I'm not in the chat room, so I can't go back and forth. That's why I said you have to speak for the girls. All
Okay,
the
so we
boys have to
won. I will
speak.
let you know from that.
So the process of sending and receiving messages is, all right, so it was the watermelon, right?
How's the answer? Just speak into it.
All right, so Miss Letitia, pick the next one for the girls. What category and what number?
Elements for what?
500.
Dang, this
200.
200.
Elements for 200.
Yes. Receiver.
And the receiver.
Oh my God.
Right.
Ethan said it.
I said it.
Next one.
But Ethan said it.
Ethan
I
said
said it
it.
before.
Team Ghana. I hope you guys are doing it too.
Right now we are going to screen. Then you will be so you guys.
Mr. Tisha, I'm waiting for you what to pick.
So receive and kind of my girls.
You see why we said just let Tony and just Miss Letitia speak so that I'm just hearing the male's voice or a female's voice?
You need to be less passive.
Oh,
Style for 200.
styles for 200.
Observe, wait, and listen. Assertive.
Wait.
Right?
Observe, wait, listen.
Yeah.
We got it.
All right, so go again.
Somebody. We got the first one. We said it like 1,000 times into the microphone.
Remember the whole noise thing, see the communication? When noise is coming in, it becomes jumbled up.
Sorry. Team Ghana, you can type, okay?
That's why I said the girls send the information to Mr. Tisha, the boys send it to Tony. So Tony, you gotta be on it and speak up and speak for your oranges.
You can speak.
Okay.
Ethan.
Style for 300.
Styles for 300.
Assertive.
Assertive. Assertive.
It's, oh wait, never mind. It is assertive. It is assertive.
Okay. Tony, I can't hear.
I don't think just.
Yeah.
Well, I came in here late. It's not my fault.
Element for 300.
Do we need to switch from Tony to Arian? It seems like Tony, you're not doing it for the boys. They're getting upset.
No, he's not.
Is Arian gonna take over for the boys then?
Yes.
Okay. What did he say?
Messages.
I was looking for the channel, but I'll let you have that one.
Sure. You guys totally never forget.
I'll let you have that one because of what Tony did earlier. Okay, go ahead and pick one.
Okay, what should we go for? Do you guys want to go for basic?
Basic 500.
Okay.
Basic 500?
500.
Okay.
Yes.
Visual.
Written, visual,
oral writing.
oral.
Yeah, but could you say that all?
Visual oral writing. Visual oral and writing. Visual oral writing.
Too late.
We already had it.
I swear to God.
I don't know what
Nobody asked you.
Nobody asked
It'd be funny if anyone talked to you.
Wow.
Okay,
If somebody pick.
What do you guys want?
Element 500.
Elements 500.
What is the message?
What's the message?
Share it to another person. Something you share to the receiver or another person.
Wait, what? Share to the other party?
Yes.
A message.
Yeah, obviously it's a message.
What?
Okay.
That's the most confusing round.
Yeah.
That's
They
what
did not do that.
happened.
There's no way.
What's no
You're
way?
not doing anything, so I don't know what you're celebrating for. It's all Juliana.
Someone want to do styles for 500.
I don't think I put that. Oh, I did put a question.
Aggressive.
Aggressive.
How loud do we have to shout?
Oh,
Okay, yeah, we got it.
I heard you. I was just trying to make sure it's sorry. Like, Arian,
It's
you're
fine.
being
You just have a
snake
lot of-
right now. Like, calm down just a little bit. It's just a game. What the boys picking? What's the category and
Which-
number?
Which category number? Which category number would you like to choose? Yes, you. For which
What did
one?
you say?
Elements 400.
Elements 400.
Feedback.
Was that Arian?
Yes.
Feedback.
All right, it's a close game.
Okay.
Up now.
You're the one. You don't have many notes, but you still have notes that people can read.
Basic 400.
Basic for 400.
Yeah.
What is it?
Basic for 400, please.
Basics for 400.
Non-verbal.
Non-verbal. Non-verbal.
Non-verbal. We said non-verbal.
It's a very close game.
We're getting very close.
Yeah, but
Yeah, stop for 400.
That's for 400.
Passive aggressive. Passive aggressive. Passive aggressive.
All right, the guys are alive. Okay, we only have 4 left.
Miss
We actually
Rita,
have a
you are
chance to
cheating for
tie
the
you.
boys.
No, I'm
Not
not.
yet.
So for whatever reason, Tony wasn't talking. But Arvin
Basic
comes
300,
through.
please.
Huh?
Basic 300, please.
Basic for 300.
Yeah.
Yes.
Verbal.
It's a tie. It's a tie game. It's a tie game. It's a tie game.
It was a tie, or we said it first.
So you see, can I just have one person? Can I have just one person speak for each one?
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay, David will do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So who's speaking for the girls?
Basic for 200.
And who's speaking for the boys? Okay.
Communication.
What is it?
Talking.
Hey, miss.
Embarrassing.
Okay.
Come on, guys.
I don't like
That was for 100.
Elements for 100.
Yes, 100.
Miss Sender. Sender.
Your last one.
you say the last one?
Guys, we gotta make this work, okay?
Passive.
Yeah!
Wait. Can I get your wages, please? You have a final Jeopardy. So how much do the watermelon want to wage? You have 1,900 right now. What are you wagering?
Oh, what are we wagering?
Yeah, for you have one final question. If you get it, you double your score. If you don't, whatever number you wage is added to your score.
Can we gamble?
Yeah, let's do 900.
900.
You guys are being very, very
What do the boys want?
100.
100.
We're gonna lose anyway, so it doesn't matter.
What does the boys want? 100?
100.
I don't know what.
They are not aggressive enough.
Come on, you guys get this? You guys got this.
21.
Did everyone?
The girls got it. 21.
Yeah, we both got it. It was a tie at least. It was a tie at least.
So the winner is based on the gamble.
I swear to God, I'm gonna lose it. I swear to God. You guys will go like.
What? Where have I go? Give me 5.
No reason.
Naiva saved the day.
Lose because she has no reaction time.
But no, you did a good job too, for real. Who are you? I remember.
What you saying?
All right, Mr. Tisha, that was
We
all I
gave
have.
you guys a little bit of fun.
That is all I have for today for communication. Did you get that?
We are here. Thank you. This was
All right, so
amazing day.
that was what I have for today for communication, and I decided instead of homework to put it into a Jeopardy so that we can all do it together.
Okay.
Do you have any questions or anything?
Any question for Miss Rena? or comments?
For making the class fun.
They said thank you. For making the class fun. Thank you.
Because it's normally really boring. Like I have to hear their voice all day. Do you know how exhausting that is? It's just exactly.
That's passive aggressive.
It's okay. I love them to a certain extent.
Thank you so much. We've learned a lot. Let me try and mute this sound here. Yeah, we've learned a lot today. I think the online communication, chatting is something that we want to also dive deeper in it on how we handle ourselves online when it comes to bullying and mental health and chatting with people. The girl situation makes me really sad for real, but I think it's a lesson for all of us. In Ghana, there is not that much regulations for online activities for the kids.
Actually, there is. So
You're
they're
muted. We can't
all.
hear you.
Oh, sorry. Am I still muted? So there's actually some going on, but it's not as mainstream as it is right now. So based on the communication I had with my mom, before, whereas everyone was each other's keeper and everybody was watching for the kids, right now it's very hard for people or your neighbors to say something about your child because then they could get themselves in trouble or insulted. So some of the examples she gave me with Ghana right now is recently during Christmas, a man bought a computer for their daughter. And I don't want to say daughter, no, their son. And the child stays on the computer. So like some people have internets and stuff at home now until late hours into the evening. And he didn't understand. So one day he goes in and he realizes that it's like 11, 12. The computer is still on, but the child is asleep. So he turns like he pressed the button and he sees that the child is watching pornography on the web. And so not long after that, the child started bringing all kinds of girls to the house and stuff based on the things that he was watching. So there's some of the stuff that they see here, whether it's in music, whether it's in movies, whether the things they're seeing on the gaming stuff that they are. So apparently gaming is also something that is going mainstream right now in Ghana. So the children are mimicking the things that they see without fully understand that the stuff that they're seeing is polished and it's not really the actual thing, and it's becoming an issue also for them over there. So it's getting there, but it's not as huge as it is here.
Thank you. So Ghana needs to, the kids, now that they are getting online, they are getting all these access to information that is like, and they don't know how to regulate all that stuff. And online commenting, people are commenting on stuff and they are very mean-spirited stuff online. So, but thank you so much. So everybody, I think if there's nothing that we've learned today, communication is important, right? And so as we always say, if Uncle Tony, myself, and Uncle Nee, or Prof and Mr. Romeo, if all of us are doing something that is not okay or you don't get it, you have to talk about it, right? So let this be one of the reasons why you share things that are not working or things that you like that you want us to do more of, okay? So thank you, Ms. Rena. We appreciate the lessons that we are all learning through you this month of mental health. So anything we want to ask her again or tell her, Team Ghana? But Team Ghana too was doing the same quiz or whatever, the game. So they were writing the answers down. So they are going to share. And I'll text you some of the pictures when we finish. Thank you so much. So we're gonna do our presentation next. We have some presentations. Anyone want to go first? Team Ghana or Team USA? Who is ready to do the, remember we say public speaking skills is important. Communication is important. Ms. Rina said public speaking skills are needed. So we are here to practice our public speaking skills by doing our presentation and coming to present to our classmates, right? So anyone, we have presentation on our field trip to the airport, Team Ghana. You guys went to the Kotoka International Airport. We are waiting for that presentation. Your country, Team USA, Team Ghana, country presentation. Team USA, our aviation field trip to the Glen L. Martin, the planes that we went to explore. We haven't talked about that. And also our holidays experience, those who had planned to share a presentation on their holiday activities and stuff. So we have a lot to unpack. So I think anyone, US or Ghana, let me know. And Ghana said they had a network issue. I forgot. Okay, but anyone here? Anyone? I'm looking.
I know that.
Ethan, are you ready or not ready? Okay, so if you guys are not ready today, next week, no excuse, okay? Next week, no excuse. You have to come and present. I'm giving you guys one last week to get yourself ready. Frante is back again. But if you can hear me, we are giving everybody the chance to give their presentation on the aviation and also on the countries. You guys pick countries, remember? And you were supposed to present on them. So we are waiting on that also. And then you guys did community day give back, right? We are waiting for that presentation also. So share, present these things, okay? Who wants to do it? Anyone in front that is ready? Share your screen and let's go. We like that time for you. Anyone in Ghana that want to present, we are ready. I know you guys are having network issues. So if you guys want to present among yourself and send a video too, we will take that, okay?
I'll do it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
No, you will.
David.
Come and do it. Share your screen. Come and stand here and do it. Papa, so what?
I know that David.
Okay, unmute yourself and then do it.
The camera.
I hope you can flow. I trust you. You can. Don't disappoint us, okay?
Hello.
This one.
I'm muting him up.
Okay, let me just get it. It's been a long time, so I haven't seen it.
It's not allowing you to share.
No, I'm trying to get it.
Huh?
I'm trying to get it.
You can't find it.
No, for some reason.
You can't find your presentation.
Rama is way better, for real. Rama is very smart and wise. Because he thinks she's a girl.
David, can you look for David? Oh, David has something on there. Oh, somebody is sharing.
Okay. We're finding next week. Okay. We got. Let's be ready. Okay.
Unmute yourself and go. You want this one? Should I take this one, sir? Okay, yes.
Hello. Hello.
We are ready.
I think so. I also saw the applications.
Yeah, we are ready. Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
My name is Alexander Kujomanyo. My experience at Kotoka International Airport. Report for the trip.
Oh, this is like
We had the report for the trip. The pre-trip preparation. Journey to Accra. Morning arrival at the airport before entry. The airport tour and the runway. The arrival, the custom. Which career at the airport do you want to pursue and why? Your experience back home, challenges. I have to share the screen again. I'm dead.
Can you join my network? Have you ever joined my network?
Yes.
So so the country I did. Huh? So hello, my name is David Norte, and I did this presentation about. My name is David Norte, and I did this presentation about a country in South America named Brazil. And here it is on the map next to Bolivia, Paraguay, Uruguay, and other countries up top. This is the flag of Brazil. See, I had two examples.
What's it?
It's both.
Send me the voice number.
Okay, next slide. This is probably right now the current president of Brazil, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. These are very famous people. These are sports that they're known for, and this is like every year, about like 4 years about World Cup. So this is like food. It's called feijoada. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but right. No. Right now I think so. I see some beans, plantain, chicken, and I'm not sure what that is in the back. Okay. Who wasn't listen to the national anthem? My bad. Okay, you guys hear it? Hold on, let me pause it. I know that's the problem.
Anytime you want to share with your family, so you don't have to go back.
Where is it?
You will present one day, right?
Where is it? Wait. What? Look.
So are you ready?
Okay.
You did. When you have there, you just. Maybe.
About like a minute. So it's almost done though. There's like a few seconds left.
Yeah. I think it was rather. Yeah.
Okay, next slide. Oh, okay. This is one of the national drinks, which is like capriata. Huh? No, because I've never been to the country. What is that? Visa? One of the drinks, national drinks. So this is the visa part. Guys do need a visit visa to enter Brazil, and if you're coming from the U.S.
Visa to Brazil, listen, you might be going there.
Ghanaians do need a visa to enter Brazil, and if you're from the US, you do not need a visa.
I'll please you guys later.
Basically, since it's part of the Americas. This is one of the national park centers. Yeah, here's another one. This is like the US Air Force. Oh, this is like the oldest person who's about like 150 years old. 115. And that's the last slide. Okay, and that's the last slide. What? Yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you,
We learned that US don't need visa to Brazil. We also learned their national anthem, who their president is, Luis Silva. Okay. So Team Ghana, if there is nothing, we can try next week for presentation, unless somebody want to present again. Mm. Okay, then we're gonna end the session, okay? We will see you guys next week. Thank you.
I'm going.